morning, everyone. I hope you can see and you can hear me. Welcome to our first virtual Shopify Meetup. This is the first time that we are doing it, so if there are any technical difficulties, please bear with us. Before I get into the details of today's meetup, please make sure that you can see the chat function that is on the side and use that to communicate with us. So if you have any questions or if you have any problems, please just send us a little message on that chat. Introduce yourselves and let's really kind of use that to communicate. So today, before we start, I'd like to thank our sponsors. So that's PayFast and Insaka. They really have been absolute champions. They've been our sponsors since the beginning of the year. And unfortunately, due to the coronavirus, we've had to take everything online. But hopefully towards the end of the year, I'll be able to meet all of you in person. So fingers crossed. Housekeeping rules just for today. We're going to try and keep this very short, very informative. Like I said, please use the chat function, send us questions, send us questions, queries, anything along the lines. Soon we will have Wale who will be presenting, and then from there we are going to do a question and answer where we are going to answer all of your questions. So Wale, I think you are ready to go. I see there's a problem here. But yeah, Wale, if you can get started.
Okay. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing very, very well. It's very early on a Saturday morning, and I just hope everyone is in good health. And and I hope you're all adapting very well to the current situation in South Africa, because I know it must not be easy. And I hope everyone can actually hear me, because are you nodding your head, Tabo? Okay, I just hope everyone can hear me. So look, I'm aware that it must not be easy for a lot of people, currently in e-commerce, because, especially because we can't ship items that are awesome. Because we currently can't ship items that are non-essentials, and I know a lot of people, every single day, although we're still getting some orders, sales for items which are non-essentials has actually been dropping in e-commerce. But what we have actually been seeing is that we've been seeing a rise in items that are essentials, and it's not just on. And it's not just on Dropstore, it's on, different websites all over the country. So for anyone that is, that is actually not getting sales right now because you offer a lot of non-essentials, I hope that you are making changes and adapting to the current situation. And if you don't know where to source products from, one of the solutions one of the ways, and there's actually offering solutions for product sourcing, for you to easily pivot from offering non-essentials to now starting to offer essentials on your website, at least during this period, so you can continue making sales, is to look at alternatives such as dropshipping, which Dropstore actually offers to a lot of people. And just to give you an example, right? Over the past couple of years, everything has been evolving, and right now, it's usually the people that they actually adapt to the changes that's going on, and also evolve with the changes that's going on. They're actually, going to they won't suffer as much as people who do not adapt to those changes, because look, taxis evolved to Uber. Taxis evolved. That's how we got Uber, Bolt, Taxify, those guys. Hotel accommodation and bread and breakfast also evolved as well. And that's how we got Airbnb. E-commerce product sourcing evolved, and then we got dropshipping. And in South Africa, we have Dropstore. So a brief history of just dropshipping in South Africa, right? So over the past years, like over the past couple of years, like I would say, predate 2019, dropshipping has had a terrible reputation in South Africa, and it's because the only way to actually do dropshipping is to dropship products. Well, dropship products effectively is to source products from China and send them to South Africa either via the post office, which usually takes about 60 days or 30 to 60 days to get to South Africa. And because of that, it gives customers bad experience. It gives e-commerce companies like a bad reputation. And most dropshipping actually took place from China or other countries to Europe, America, Australia, where the postal services, is actually quite on point. And goods will get there, via the post office in about 10 to 15 days, 2 weeks maximum, sometimes even within a week. Okay. So in South Africa, drop shipping started to actually evolve and get a little bit better from last year when we actually launched Dropstore. Okay. And some early adopters of drop shipping when it comes to suppliers in South Africa has been companies like Kalaska. And Kalaska, I'm not sure if anyone knows them. They got like an amazing range of products that they import and brand, and they distribute to many different online stores and offline retailers. And they also took up and adopted dropshipping to increase and expand their sales. Okay, and that's on the supplier side. And another early adopter as well of dropshipping has been the e-commerce website Zastra, which is predominantly a marketplace and had been dropshipping from overseas for quite some time. And since Dropstore became a viable option to actually source products from different suppliers like Kalaska and like a range of other hundreds of suppliers in South Africa, the company has managed to expand its product range and its product offering, significantly, okay, to include products from suppliers from all over South Africa. So, these are just two examples of companies that are brands. So the idea here is that people should stop thinking that they are doing dropshipping and start thinking like they are creating a brand. Okay, and dropshipping itself, that word, it's a marketing term. It's a term that we use like for SEO and everything. Dropshipping itself, it's an e-commerce hack, and it's an hack that allows for suppliers to easily be able to get their product to the end consumer, okay, without them having to do marketing and hire a lot of people to actually do marketing for them. And it is a hack that allows for new entrepreneurs to sell products without the need for physical store or having to hold inventory. And this enables product manufacturers to produce, package, ship orders direct to customers without the business owner having to physically handle the product. So thereby, it reduces business risk since the business owner only pays for goods sold to customers. And since most dropshipping stores are easy to set up and are low cost, they can be mostly automated, and it has become one of the best business models for store owners to adopt. So today I'm going to share with you the 10 acts to consider for new online store owners looking to launch a successful dropshipping store and break into the e-commerce industry. So the very first thing that you need to consider when you want to break into the e-commerce store is you need to have a niche. The idea of running a general store with pretty much every item on the internet might sound exciting at first, but on a closer look, it could be the first step to failure. Okay, because operating a niche, which is too general, because operating a store which is too general reduces the chances of spending out a specific audience you are doing marketing for your store. And in turn, it can also make branding of your e-commerce store very difficult. So a niche store makes it easier to clearly define the right audience for your product, and helps you narrow the focus to more potential customer audience, which is the key to success when you are starting an e-commerce store. So what you need to do is you need to analyze trends if you haven't yet made a decision on what kind of niche that you want to go into. Select the right target audience and review your competitors. To get ideas when you are considering a niche, because it is essential to have knowledge and also to be passionate about the area that you are diving into, because that's going to play a crucial role into your store being a successful e-commerce niche. So the very second thing that you need to do is you need to verify suppliers if you are thinking of going into dropshipping. So if you're a retailer, you need to make sure that you verify a supplier, because your brand's reputation reflects on the quality of products it offers. And the need to be picky about which supplier to work with and what product represents a brand cannot be overemphasized. So determining what products to dropship might be the easy part, but auditing suppliers to partner with should also be treated with equal relevance. And one thing that we make easy on Dropstore is that we actually to remove that step of you having to go and verify suppliers by us actually doing the verification of suppliers for you beforehand. So so that's just one way that Dropstore actually makes makes the process of verifying suppliers takes that extra work, which can take you days, weeks, months to actually be able to verify a supplier before you actually start using them. And the third hack is you need to select the channels for you to sell your product, and basically what I'm referring to is your shopping cart. So with the emergence of dropshipping and its increasing popularity in the e-commerce sphere, there's been a myriad of channels offering services to online store owners, and it's worth taking into consideration what channel a store decides to use. So these channels make pre-made store themes available for store owners, and the two that I would recommend that people actually look at are actually three, which is Shopify, WooCommerce, and dStore. Okay, so Shopify and WooCommerce are two quite popular ones that everyone knows, and dStore is something that we offer on Dropstore, which is WooCommerce. Okay, it's just a way that we've made it easy for anyone who wants to start building the e-commerce store to because normally if you need to set up a store on WooCommerce, you need to know a little bit about development. So we made that process so easy, very similar to Shopify, where you just click a few links, and then you're able to then get an e-commerce store generated for you with the store theme and your information already pre-filled in, just similar to Shopify. So it's basically a WooCommerce platform, but that is offered by Dropstore to allow people to easily start their e-commerce stores. So the number 4 thing that you need to focus on is branding. Okay, because creating a brand is key to building your store's reputation and would always guarantee returning customers if done correctly. And branding usually comprises a store name, logo, design layout, and all-around feel of whatever niche products are on sale. So although dropshipping helps you cut corners, it is crucial that effective branding that creates effective branding that creates a lasting impression on your customers. So before launching an e-commerce store, you need to observe other niche stores that's related to your store and see what works And now this could be modified into branding your own store, from landing pages to product description, image quality, and everything else in between. So in order for you to get started with branding, you can go onto sites like Turf Mob, okay, which offers, you know, good deals on ready-made branded domain names. And if you guys don't know Turf Mob, right? Turf Mob is a website that, you know, that give you a domain name with a brand already. Okay, so you know, like, yeah, so just check that out. And also another tip as well is for you to make sure that you have trust badges on your store, and a good source of actually getting a trust badge in South Africa is from eCommerce Forum Africa. And just a disclaimer, I am a board member of eCommerce Forum Africa, and what our goal is to increase the trust of consumers around e-commerce, because we found that one of the things that, you know, that prevents a lot of people in South Africa from actually buying online is just a lack of trust. And a lot of people actually said that they would buy on an e-commerce website that has a trust badge than on an e-commerce site that doesn't have a trust badge. Okay, so especially if you're starting a new dropship store or an e-commerce store, or you have your own stock that you are selling, it's always good for you to have some trust badges to make your customers feel a lot more safe. So the act number 5 is that you need to automate your store as much as possible, because it doesn't matter whether you are operating your store as a full-time job or whether you're doing it as passive income. Okay, the more aspect of your store that you automate, the more freedom you will have as a store owner, to focus on crucial elements like marketing, which is what you want to mostly focus on, and why most people start with a dropshipping store than with a store where you have to keep a lot of your stock, where you have to worry about now warehousing, managing staff, security, shipping, packing, all of those things that usually take up your time. With a dropshipping store, you basically just focus more on your brand, your branding, your customer service, and your marketing. Okay, so so having social media also on autopilot as well comes in handy. And just going back to automating your store as much as possible. That's also another thing as well that Dropstore also offers to e-commerce store owners and to suppliers as well. Okay, so as an e-commerce store owner, you can easily go onto Dropstore, find the products that you want. Similar to how you would send a picture to someone on WhatsApp. Okay, so on WhatsApp, you would normally go into your phone's picture, select the pictures you want to send to someone, and then click send. And you can then select a person's name that you want to send a picture to, and then you send a picture to that person. Similar thing as well happens on Dropstore, where you can go into the Dropstore platform, select products that you want to start selling on your e-commerce store. And in a time like this, essential products are some of the items that we would strongly advise anyone. Even if you sell furniture, start selling essential items, at least for the meantime. Let your customers know that you can actually, that you're offering essential items, so that, which will help you to keep the lights on and be able to continue to pay those recurring expenses that you're still probably, paying to have to keep the lights on, or to keep your e-commerce store on. And I know from experience that the monthly expenses for e-commerce stores is not cheap, especially if you've been running your store for quite some time, and if you have apps that are currently running on that store as well. Okay, so what Dropstore allows is for you to easily select products that you want to sell on your e-commerce store, and then send them to your e-commerce store, and populate your e-commerce store with the titles, images, description, product type, and hide your own markup to the price that's coming from the supplier, and allows you to actually easily sell that product. And then the automation part comes in when a customer places an order on your store, that order is automatically pulled in from your store with the customer's information, phone numbers, not emails, sends that information to the supplier. And once supplier gets that order, all you have to do is just click pay for the order, and the supplier ships the item to your customer. The process of the supplier shipping is also automated as well, with the tracking number being sent to the customer. So when the supplier ships the item, the supplier enters this tracking number on their side, which is then transferred and carried through to your own online store, and your customer gets a notification of the item being shipped with the tracking number to track the item. And part of the automation as well that you would also get on Dropstore as well is that when a product inventory goes up or down, or the prices go up or down, and this is especially useful right now because the exchange rate has been bouncing up and down, and suppliers are not sure whether to increase prices or to decrease prices. And for a lot of people, they would probably, they might get caught by surprise when the price goes up, but they're still selling products at the old price on the website. With Dropstore, when the supplier increases the price on your website also automatically goes up as well. Supplier reduces the price on your e-commerce store automatically goes down as well. And if supplier inventory goes up because they're selling on through other channels, the inventory goes down on your side. If they bring in more stock, the inventory goes up. So you never have to really worry about that. And, the automation just gives you a lot more time to just focus more on the things that are important, which is marketing. And while we're talking about marketing, especially right now, from all the data that we collect for marketing, we've actually seen that right now is actually the cheapest. Like I'm saying right now, as in the lockdown period, online marketing has been so cheap, and I'm talking about AdWords and Facebook ads. So if you have turned off your advertising right now, you should probably turn it back on, because your cost of acquisition of new customers has gone down. It would have gone down a lot. Conversion rates might be lower, but use this period to increase your customer base, collect as much data as possible, offer them coupons for you to get their emails, for you to get their phone numbers, so that when things start to return back to normal, and actually it won't, because when things start to come back to normal, it's going to be a different normal, because I strongly believe that after all of this is over, a lot of events, because if people are still not going to trust being around a lot of people, so we're probably still going to get, drops with people going to concerts and to events. A lot of stuff is going to be happening online, and that's not going to change as well for e-commerce. A lot of transactions in retail is definitely going to be happening online, and I can't wait to actually see those figures, because South Africa has been below that 2% online retail. So basically, the percentage of retail that happens online has been below 2% for a number of years. So I can't wait to see what that percentage will be by the end of this year. Okay, so act number 6 is customer service. And as a dropshipper, customer service is your best friend, because I guarantee you, I don't want to say the S word. I guarantee you that, that things are going to happen. That's not going to, things are going to happen things will happen that won't go according to plan. So sometimes a supplier might ship your item late. Sometimes, you might just find that a supplier might not have stock. So, there's obviously advantages and disadvantages to having a dropship business. So the best way for you to stand out from your competitors because most customers don't just pay for products, they also pay for the shopping experience. So it is imperative that your store does its best to make your customers happy and satisfied. And one very good example of great customer service that I have personally experienced is from Africa. Okay, a little bit of ass kissing there, but I'm just saying it like it is. They maintain premium customer relationship, and that's kind of premium customer service that you also want to maintain with your customers. Okay, so even when things go bad, your customers will stay loyal to you. And I asked this question, right? No, actually, I'm gonna not ask that question. Okay, but in order for you to actually keep your customers loyal, you just have to offer them, exceptional service. Okay. Number 7. I've already spoken a little bit about marketing. Just understand that that in order for you to have a successful e-commerce store, marketing needs to be one of the things that you really dive into. And the marketing channels that are worth exploring are for a new store or any store that has actually been around for quite some time is AdWords, Facebook marketing, and Instagram marketing. And recently, I've seen Snapchat advertising. I'm not sure if anyone has tried it. If you've tried it and you found it to actually be a good source of creating brand awareness, I will be so happy if you can maybe just share some of your experiences. On this in this Zoom video call. Okay. And number 8 is handling of returns. So as with every other business model, dropshipping business model also experiences a number of potential issues that spring up from time to time, from lost shipments to unsatisfactory product and likes. So therefore, there is the need to plan for returns, especially since this could be a lot more complex with when dropshipping is involved, because you are not the one that's actually shipping the product, it is getting shipped out from your suppliers. So one of the things that we do is that we actually put, and when I say we, I mean Dropstore, is that we put policies in place and agreement with suppliers. But if you are not using a platform like Dropstore, you need to discuss your policies and agreements with the supplier from the start in order to be clear about who receives returns in the case, that they actually do happen. On our side, the supplier receives the return and you deal directly with the customer. Because it reduces the cost of logistics, and because the suppliers that we also have on Dropstore are verified, and the way the operation is set up is to cater to e-commerce. They are easily able to receive items, coming back from customers, and able to process credits for those items. Okay. Erman said nope. I would love to hear more about that. Okay. But in order for you to provide exceptional service, if you don't want to avoid any sort of delay, it is also advisable it is advisable for you to have an account and 2 ways for you to actually process returns. If you're processing returns back to yourself, 2 easy ways is to have an account with Africa. So Africa easily allows you to request product returns from customers, and for customers who would normally not be at home, maybe they're at work or something, another alternative that we often use is Pago. Okay. So as a dropshipping business, you need to make sure that you actually prepare, that you understand and you have clear policy and guidelines for the way that you accept returns. And analytics is act number 9, because trends are always dynamic, they're always changing. For example, right now, so knowing So knowing the changes in your customer behavior will allow you to easily decide which products to actually put on your website, which ones are not doing so well. So you always need to keep changing. And dropshipping business owners should always keep an eye out on the competition as well, for new ideas, for advertising strategies, branding, and even competitive pricing on trending products in your niche. So keeping an eye on your competitors will help open you up to new avenues for effective marketing to the best audience. And the last act, which is act number 10, is that you need to be in the loop, okay? Because running a successful dropshipping business requires a substantial dedication and long-term investment, both in time and money, to make sure that you remain in the mix when it comes to understanding the emerging trends and what's fading out within the industry. And this will ultimately help you to continually satisfy the needs of customers and also help you be on par with your fellow competitors. So guys, those are the 10 acts that I can share with you. I hope you have all, actually learned something new from today. And I hope, I hope that people who are selling essential items, look at dropshipping for a way to expand their range of essential items, and people and the guys and the suppliers who have those items will also look at dropshipping as a way for them to distribute their products a lot more easily. Okay, because dropshipping for a supplier is just like having hundreds or thousands of agents out there doing all the selling and distributing your products for you, while all you need to do is just make sure that you just pack and ship the items, okay, without having to worry about running an e-commerce store, running, like a full-on customer support team, and also paying digital agencies, because one skill a lot of dropshipping store owners have is the digital marketing skills, and they do the marketing for you. And at the end of the day, it's a win-win for the supplier as it is for the retailer. Okay, and now thank you guys for sitting through this 47 minutes with me. And yeah, and that is my presentation today. Thank you so much, guys. Any questions?
Any questions? You can just send them through on the chat. What I think we can do, Wale, if it's, oh, there we go. What is the name of your service?
Our service is Dropstore. Dropstore. You can find it if you go to dropstore.co.za. It's the logo over there. And you can also find us on Facebook and other social media channels as well. You're welcome, Jack.
A question, where can you undertake local product research?
Where can you undertake? Okay, that is easy. Okay. One of the easiest places for you to do local product research, okay, is Bit-or-Buy, okay? So if you want to know what products are selling really well, is like in South Africa, get onto Bit-or-Buy. Bit-or-Buy has got a category, like sections, categories for hot products. They've got, sorry, my accent, I'm saying hot, H-O-T, okay? They've got a place where you can actually look for hot like products. And what you can also do is that you can look at regular listings versus looking at premium listings that have been promoted. And even when you click on those regular like listings and you open up a list of all the regular items, you can also then, you can also then filter those regular listings by the items that are best selling from those regular listings. Okay, because a lot of people will tell you go into Google Trends and whatnot. Google Trends doesn't really give you that much information when it comes to South Africa, right? They give you information, like their data is more in depth with more the US market. But with the South African market, what good trends could probably give you as a business is to see like the interest, of a particular term. Okay, so you can see, like you can see if the interest has gone up, but that is not a good indicator. But it could mean that maybe 10 people were interested in it a couple of months ago, and now there's like 50 people, and it's not really a good indicator. So one of the best places for you to actually do product research is one, right now in South Africa, right, is Billabong. And another place for you to do your product research is also on TechCloud as well. Go check out, go filter, see which items are best selling. That's it. Those are the two very, very easy ways for you to see what is doing well in South Africa if you are sourcing from Dropstore. But if you're sourcing from overseas, I will leave you to check on to go to Warwick's course to actually, it covers that really, really well. How you can do product research for, using overseas websites. And one thing that we're also going to be introducing, maybe this year or in the near future, is product research on Dropstore as well, where you can actually, we will show you analytics on how many products. Right now, we actually show you how many products are being added by people to their e-commerce stores. And in the future, we'll also introduce as well how many of those products have been sold in the space of the last 30 days, which gives you an indication of whether that product is currently trending or not.
Cool. Okay, then Darren asks here, how do we view the catalog of suppliers?
You go to Dropstore, sign up if you don't have an account, or you sign in, and you just go to search products, and you can easily view all the products that are on the platform. Yeah.
Okay. Then Peter, instead of a general store, what about a one-page website for trending products? Also, do you recommend selling to South Africa or other countries? I'm trying to target the US, very competitive, but the biggest market.
Okay, so if your supply in South Africa ships to the US, I can't really give you much information there, because from what I know, shipping to the US from South Africa is expensive. Okay, so you probably wouldn't be able to make any sales. But if you are sourcing, if you're talking dropshipping from, say, India, China, Turkey, any of those countries where they manufacture products, maybe you're sourcing from Alibaba, for example, then go ahead, supply to the US or to any of the big e-commerce companies, e-commerce countries, where people there actually earn a lot of money, like the UK, Europe, Australia. Okay, when you dropship to those countries, that is what I would advise you to do, rather than dropship from South Africa to those countries. But also, you'll also face some challenges as well, because you are in Africa, and Africa is not seen as being a very trustworthy place, especially when it comes to you receiving payments. So you will have very few options as well of receiving payments, like PayPal. Probably wouldn't be able to get a Stripe account, and if you can get a Stripe Atlas account, strongly wouldn't advise you do that. You would probably be able to get a PayPal account, but what you might also find is that PayPal ordering your payments for extended periods of time, especially if they found out that you actually are doing dropshipping from Africa. Okay, so the point there is that you are from Africa. I'm sorry, but it's just okay. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, cool. I hope that answers your question, Peter. Next up, we have a question from Jack. Can I dropship from any website in South Africa, or only from your selected suppliers?
You can dropship from any website in South Africa, as long as you have a dropshipping agreement with suppliers. And Okay, so one of the things that they actually made us to actually build Dropstore was that we found that a lot of suppliers don't drop shipping, and they are least likely to work with just one company if you go to them, because you are just too much work, and a lot of them don't have things like product fees and whatnot. So what we found is that they are more eager to work with one platform like Dropstore that can allow them to be able to then distribute products out to 100, 200, 300 plus retailers. Okay, so you can definitely do it. It can be easy, and in most cases, it's often challenging to try and even educate a supplier that you found about the concept of dropshipping in e-commerce. Most people would be like, okay, cool, you can sell our product and order it, but then they wouldn't give you things like a product feed. You'd have to manually copy and paste, and it works well. If anyone wants to drop ship, and with an e-commerce store, you're going to start building up a little bit of capital. WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, and Facebook Marketplace, and even on Gumtree are ways that a lot of new entrepreneurs who are just starting to get into the business usually start out, and then over a period, after a while, start to transition, gently to selling on their own e-commerce website, because they want to build a brand. You want to build something, something that they can actually, because look, if anyone knows, is it Zappos? Yes, Zappos. Zappos was sold for $1 billion, right, to Amazon. It started off as a dropshipping website. They started off dropshipping products, and then after a while, managed to actually, start to build up their own inventory, and they managed to actually build it into. And I'm not saying that the likeliness of that happening right now. Unfortunately, it's gone. Okay, but people can still actually, building like a $1 billion e-commerce dropshipping company, but the likeliness of you building an e-commerce company where into a business in South Africa right now with only 2% of sales coming from South Africa, of online sales coming from of online retail sales coming from retail sales coming from online, there's potential. There's massive potential. Yeah.
All right. Then another question from Ravine. What's your suggestion on handling imports and duties, shipping and taxes, and impact on profits?
Are you drop shipping, or are you keeping the inventory?
Okay, let's just wait for a second for him to respond.
Drop shipping. Okay, so if you drop shipping from overseas and you drop shipping to South Africa or to any other country, the taxes or all of those things are usually the responsibility of your customer. Okay, but so what I would definitely advise there is that you make that as clear as possible. You make sure that you state to your customer that the item is coming from you indicate the country the item is coming from, so that your customers are usually aware of possible taxes, duties, and I can't remember everything, but delays that could also happen as well. And in some cases, what I've seen is, and this I haven't seen this in South Africa, I've seen this only on one website, right? That actually offers a refund to their clients for any tax or duties that they actually that they are charged when the item gets to their country. So you could also offer that, but that's going to eat into your profit.
Okay. Okay, cool. So that was Ravine's question. Then from Herman, all items have a shipping fee added on Dropstore. But what if It's all small items of say 200 to 400 Rand, and each has a shipping fee added of 100 or 99 Rand on Dropstore. What would the shipping fee be to the customer? If they buy like 10 units with one single order, because you can't simply charge 10 times 99 Rand for an order of say 1,000 Rand if the volumetric weight of the items do not justify the shipping charge.
Okay, so I like that question. We were actually discussing this just this past week. Okay, so right now, because like in the first phase, like similar to the lockdown, there's 5 phases. Okay, we also have a few phases as well of actually launching Dropstore. So the first phase was, and it's been happening in developmental phases, right? Right now, the shipping fee is added to the product. So if you are, so it makes sense to offer products that cost a lot, that are higher value items, okay, right now, because shipping fee gets added to the product. Because if you are selling a product that costs 400 Rand, is a shipping fee of about 70 Rand will be added to the item. So your cost price will be 470. And on your website, you need to offer that product as free shipping. So the same thing applies to your product. If your product is 1 Rand, okay, and shipping fee is 70 Rand, that product ends up becoming 71 Rand. And that is a huge problem that we are fully aware of. So in the next phase of our development, we will allow retailers to be able to choose whether they want to add the shipping fee to the item or not. So you can offer a 1 Rand product for 2 Rand on your website, and then charge shipping fees separately. And we also are aware that customers can maybe order multiple products from different suppliers. And we are going to be applying a solution as well for that, so that when you offer the products on your website, you can actually offer so you can charge additional shipping based on the number of products that are being ordered. So 2 products, and like we know that Shopify doesn't normally just offer you to charge additional amounts based on the number of items. It's based on weight, but we've got a solution for that as well, and that's also going to be applied as well, okay, in the next phase of our development.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Herman, for your question. And then it looks like it's a final question, but what does the pricing look like on Dropstore?
So right now, the pricing, there are 2 separate products, right? There's the ones where you source products from suppliers to your retail store, okay? Actually 3 different pricing, okay? Suppliers, retailers, and if you want to start your e-commerce website at a very, very low cost. So if you're a supplier, it's completely free for you to use Dropstore platform to load your products onto Dropstore. What you do pay, as with any other website, is that you pay a transaction cost. So every time there's a transaction, somebody buys a product from you, or any sales comes through from a supplier, so from a retailer to you. Payment gateway usually take their own fees, so there's transaction cost of 5% per transaction. Okay, if you are a retailer and you are using Dropstore as product sourcing, which is one of the the awesome hacks of dropshipping, for you to be able to source products in inventory a lot more easily, the pricing starts from 99 Rands a month, which is cheaper than a coffee date. Okay, for you to be able to add products and source inventory without having to invest tens or hundreds of thousands of Rands in inventory, and paying for a warehouse, all of those things, to have access to all these products from different suppliers. So that's 99 Rands, and it goes up to please correct me, or I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. Goes up to 199. So 1,999. 1,999 allows you to have allows you to add unlimited amount of products, and the 99 Rand starts from 25 products. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 25 products. Okay. And then if you don't have an e-commerce store and you don't have experience to starting your own, like e-commerce, like websites, there's also an option as well to easily click a few, like buttons and have a store generated for you, which is built on WooCommerce, for you to then be able to then add products onto to start a lot easily.
Cool. I think that those are all of the questions. If you have any more questions, you can just send them through. What I will try and do is actually post the recording of this, on Monday or Tuesday, and then I will share an email with all of you with all of the contact details for our partners, the sponsors, and then Wale as well. And then if you have any further questions, you can get in contact with him directly, or you can get in contact with me on Events at UAfrica, and I will forward your questions onto him. But thank you everyone for attending today. Oh wait, yeah. UAfrica and Dropstore would be two separate subscriptions, obviously. Could you explain the relationship between the two? Do you want to take that one?
Yes, we are both partners. And we have a shared goal of actually growing e-commerce in South Africa. We want to see e-commerce grow because our business does rely on the growth of e-commerce, and also offering, services, and actually, being innovative and actually being able to solve a lot of the, what do you call this? Challenges that people actually face when they are, when they have e-commerce companies. And one thing is that, a lot of the suppliers that we actually have on Dropstore use UAfrica Shipping as their shipping company. So when orders are being generated from some other retailer sites coming through Dropstore, going through the supplier as well is using UAfrica Shipping to actually dispatch or to send a collection request to the to the courier companies, and for the courier companies to come and collect and then ship the product to the customer. So we actually see quite a few UAfrica, UAfrica shipping codes coming through on Dropstore from the suppliers. So, I think the main relationship there is our shared vision of seeing e-commerce grow, and our shared passion to actually helping e-commerce entrepreneurs, the little guys, the guys that can afford to spend millions in development, and people who just would want to focus more on growing their business than worry about all of the hassles that comes with running an e-commerce company.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Darren, I hope that answers your question. If you have any follow-up questions, you can send them through. As I mentioned, I will try and send everybody the information on Dropstore and Shopify and all of that on Tuesday, and hopefully we have a good recording. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Awesome. And you can ask us any other questions that you may have. Dropshipping, if anyone has any questions on dropshipping, we send them to Wale automatically. So if you have any other questions, he's definitely the right person to get in touch with. Cool. I think that's it.
And guys, you can find me on Instagram at @TheRealWale Adejumo, and on Twitter at Wale Adejumo. I believe that, although we all have this shared passion for e-commerce and obviously making money and providing for ourselves, our families, people that we care about, I also believe that one of the things that a lot of us need to also focus on is also ourselves as well as individual, as a person, because we do face a lot of challenges, especially now, and we're running our e-commerce companies in general, or just running any company in general with life. So one thing I believe that that we actually need to focus on as well is our own self-growth and our self-development and growth of our mindset. Because if you're able to actually do work on yourself and look after your own mind and your own well-being, that spills out into your business, whatever business that you're running. Even if you are an employee, it actually makes your life better when you do work on yourself and you take time to actually grow yourself and do self-development. So those are some of the things that I share on my handle on Instagram and on Twitter. And I'm also writing a book as well to actually share a lot more about the foundations of happiness and actually living a more fulfilling life, especially if you are an entrepreneur, because I know it can be really, really stressful, or whatever else that you actually do in life. So guys, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, Africa. Thank you so much for your support over the past year since we launched. And I also just want to say a good thank you as well to PayFast and to Insaka as well for all of his, Insaka for all of his support. And thank you so much, Danica, because I don't think any of this would have been possible if we never met last year. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's been an awesome experience so far. As Herman says here, interesting times lying ahead. That's definitely true. But yeah, thank you everyone for giving up so much of your time on a Saturday morning. I know everyone is busy with kids and families and, just trying to survive the lockdown. So thank you for your time. And I hope to all meet you soon at in-person events.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.